Anybody who's watched these matches knows that at any moment, anything can happen to close that gap. So you should expect a relatively close race. If we are able to round up a full commentator, we'll do that. But for now, just sit back, relax, and enjoy. There will be people in chat to answer questions. We do have the Helpasaur King bot that has answers to some common terminology. For instance, if you have questions about how something works, you can usually type in a command with the exclamation mark, and Helpasaur will give you that answer. But there should be Link to the Past runners around in chat to answer your questions. But it looks like we're getting started. So again, enjoy, and thanks for tuning in to Speed Gaming 2 to watch this tournament matchup. All right, well, I am back with a little bit of good news. You will soon be joined on the mic by my man, Ninnies, who will be here to fill you in on all the happenings. So stand by. You'll be joined by Ninny shortly, who will guide you on this fantastic No Major Glitches tournament journey that we're going on.
Hello everybody, and welcome to another No Major Glitches tournament race. between BambooShadow and Rezovayix. I apologize if I butchered that name. I'm going to be commentating this race. And looks like we already got started in the escape segment. So the escape segment is a movement-based, heavily movement-based, and the way that you get a good time is knowing which direction to move Link and utilizing maybe some pumping and utilizing some good reaction times with the boomerang and with the sword. We are currently in the sewers, and where BambooShadow is displaying some pumping mechanics as well as Rezovayix over here. That's the quickest way to get through this water segment. Link slows down to about 1 pixel per movement, no matter what direction he's moving. As some of us may know, if you're moving up or left, that is when Link is moving at his fastest, and then when it is most advantageous to use your pumping mechanics. So Rezovayix having a little bit of trouble here, down to 1 heart, but he's going to save a little bit of time on the dialogue here. Picks up that nice blue rupee, starts leaving this segment with 6 rupees, and BambooShadow getting out at a nice, I believe it was a 555, 556, so that's a really good escape for him. BambooShadow grabbing the sandcart. I believe that Rezovayix is going to as well. The best thing about the sandcart is that it refills your hearts. So all that damage that Rezo took, it's going to be refilled at 4 hearts, and it's going to help him maneuver through the overworld segment leading to Eastern Palace. Now, as far as PBs go, I'm not too sure, as well as their tournament stats. I haven't had time to pull that up, but I do believe that BambooShadow is 1-1. I don't want to be mistaken, but I think that Rezovayix is the bottom seed of his group. All right, so both Rezovayix and BambooShadow are displaying double pumping on these staircases. Now, manual staircases is the other place that you want to utilize your pumping. If you were to ever go up those stairs just without any kind of movement, you'd notice that it's a lot slower than what our runners are currently going up them right now. Man, Rezo having a really troublesome overworld, entering Eastern Palace with only half a heart, but there are a lot of pots in here that have hearts. So as you can see on BambooShadow's screen, there's one right there. There's also one that leads onto the switch here on the right side, or left side, that Rezo's going to be picking up over here. As far as more dungeons go, Eastern is... it's got a little bit of mechanics to it, but it's not too dangerous. Obviously, there are things that can go wrong here, but there's plenty of health pots around. Rezo picks up the compass. Now, that's going to be useful. If he wants to find any other treasure chests in this dungeon, he's going to know where they are. So BambooShadow's coming up here on the switch here for the big key, utilizing the damage boost there, and gets underneath the anti-fairies to hit that switch. Now, normally, you would have to defeat all the enemies on the screen, and then they would break away, and then you can hit that button. But by utilizing the iframes that you get after getting hit by that popo, you can kind of pick up the pot and sneak under there and get the button pressed just as Link exits iframes. So I'm kind of curious to see which strategies that Bamboo uses here. There's a lot of different ways that you can kind of get through this room and defeat the Igor in order to pick up your... Oh, cool. So he looks like he utilizes the kill the Popo and then shoot the arrow. Some runners kind of go around the Popo. Now, while that's a little bit faster, the trouble with that is the Popo can move in the way of the arrow, so you might end up using one extra arrow. So both of our runners did pick up the bonus 5 arrows on the way to getting the big key, so that's not going to be a problem for them. Good Zelda gamer room from BambooShadow as we see Rezovayix entering the second half of Eastern Palace. Opting for the top right Armo strategy, and it looks like he's got the first setup. Firing 13 down here. You need a total of 18 arrows to get this strategy completed, and he's done it. Rezo having a little bit of trouble picking up that, or hitting that little switch, but looks like he gets through Zelda gamer room pretty quickly, and he's on to the Red Igor room. Ooh, a little bit of trouble from Rezo here, but picks up the 20 rupee drop, so he's doing really good on rupees. If he is using the rupee route, he's going to be in a prime position. And just like his opponent, he gets the quick kill on Armos and is on his way out of this dungeon. Really nice dungeon from both of them. So BambooShadow is going to be using the rupee route. It looks like he's setting up spin speed here. Looks like he's got the first half of it, and he's in it. Spin speed is one of the version 1.0 exclusives. If you get the Japanese cartridge or the Japanese 1.0 ROM, you can do a lot of different things that you'll be seeing throughout this run. One of them is the spin speed. If you tap the A button or the dash button in the frame after releasing your spin, you'll put Link into a glitch state where you cannot swing your sword at all. So that's the first step that you can figure out if you're in this. Next, you're going to want to exit any kind of manual stairs going up or down or north or south, and then that way you'll be in spin speed. That allows you to move at the same speed as dashing, but you can change direction without having to adjust and then re-begin your dash. So I'm not too sure if anybody's going to be picking up any safeties along the run. I don't think we've seen anybody pick up pots during the Desert Palace split, but if you are interested in learning this game and you want to go for a couple of safeties, if you're a little bit nervous about the entire course of the run, this is a good time for you to pick up some of the bottles. You can get the one in the tavern, and you can get the net from the Bug Kid inside Kakariko, and then you could be on your way to the remainder of the run. Don't forget to stop by the Bonk Rocks to the top left of Link's house, and you can pick yourself up a fairy. Rezo's actually going for the unholy spin speed here. Ooh, you gotta hold the top right diagonal to get into that room nice and clean, but still a good way to show off that strat. So far, 2 really good overworlds from both of our runners here. BambooShadow is just making his way into Desert Palace, and I'll have a time estimate on how far apart they are in just a moment. All right, so we're looking at about a minute time difference between BambooShadow and Rezovayix. Now, the Light World, it's not super impactful for your entire run, but because, you know, we still have Aghanim to go through, and RNG can still kind of do things to you. As far as the remainder of the other 2 Light World bosses, Lembolas and Moldorm, can also close the gap between these two runners depending on execution. So you might be looking at this and going, all right, the runners are picking up these pots and they have arrows in them. Is that planned? It absolutely is. The pots that we're picking up, they have a specific purpose. They either have a heart underneath it to help us replenish our life. They have arrows, which is more than likely the only reason why you'd be picking up certain spots. And a couple of pots you will actually be picking up for the rupees that they have in them. That room that Bamboo just left actually has a couple of 5 rupees in there. And some runners have been known to pick those up if they're a little bit low. Bamboo could have, but I think he's feeling more that he's going to get like a couple of rupee drops along the way, or he's going to be able to make them up before he needs them for Palace of Darkness. BambooShadow showing off one of our first key dashes that we can do. Exclamation point key dash will let you know the specifics on that. I don't want to be corrected for a third time. But it's something that you get to see throughout the run. You can kind of line things up by being in door frames or by kind of nudging the torch as BambooShadow did. Sometimes even certain door frames or certain walls can put you on the right pixel placement. BambooShadow picking up an extra 5 arrows, not a bad choice. If you miss a lot, there's going to be a lot of arrows that you're going to be utilizing against this boss. It is the fastest way to kill Landmolus. But let's see what kind of patterns and how he deals with it. Ooh, unfortunately, Lamo phase 1 giving him a little bit of trouble. Bamboo's got to be a little bit careful. The rocks that come up when they erupt do half a heart of damage, whereas Lanmo himself, the head, does 1 full heart. Very nice. And we see Rezovayix just entering the boss fight right behind him. Light up looks good. Ooh, 1 Lanmo already down for Rezo. Could this be a 3 cycle? Very well done. That's going to help Rezo catch up with Bamboo right here. So coming up here on Bamboo's screen, we're going to see the fake flipper glitch here. This is another 1.0 exclusive minor glitch. What he's going to be doing is he's going to be lining himself with 1 pixel away from the screen transfer. And it's going to put Link into a state where it's going to show that he has flippers when we know that he doesn't. He hasn't purchased those flippers from Zora yet. Ooh, unfortunate placement there. Got to get away. You cannot get hit. Oh no! Save and quit. Good, good, good. All right, so what happens in this during the tournament? You have to save and quit, and you're allowed to start at Link's house during the group stages, which we are in right now. It allows BambooShadow to continue however he sees fit. However, in the bracket stages that are to follow this, much higher consequences, he will have to come back, touch the bush, and then progress as he sees fit. But BambooShadow knows his backups, and he's making quick work of the time loss that he may be having right now. So now you can see a little bit of a leader change, but they're not that far behind. Yeah, the dangerous part about the fake flippers is it's very wise, and all of our runners, I'm pretty sure, know to save and quit if you get hit. The last thing that you want to do is move. If you move, you get soft locked, and you got to start all the way at the beginning. That would be detrimental to either of our runners, and I would hope that it happens to nobody. So, fun fact, you can actually mash X, which is normally the map button, but you can mash X freely in caves, such as this one, and also the library also counts too. A lot of text can be cleared with L and R as long as there isn't any prompt that you have to select with A. So the dialogue, like following after you get the, this, I can't think of it, it's the mirror. After you get the mirror, you can clear it with L and R. But while the old man is talking to you, you can also clear his dialogue with L, R, and X and not worry about any map coming up. Interesting to know, while you are in spin speed, you can still pump. So utilize all your movement tech to help get through Death Mountain, especially Death Mountain, a lot quicker. So our third Light World dungeon is the Tower of Hera. This has probably one of the most annoying bosses. I know Land Molest is a lot of RNG to deal with, but Landmo can really extend the length of this dungeon. If you fall, if you get hit, if he knocks you off, it resets his health. And he's really the only boss that this kind of complication can happen. It's anywhere from about 30 seconds to about a minute of time loss, depending on where you were in the fight and how soon that it was that you fell. So we saw both of our runners trying to do the boom dash to throw the boomerang and hit the crystal switch. We see BambooShadow got it, so he doesn't have to press anything. He's completely safe with the iframes while he's on these switches. Unfortunately, Rezo went a little bit too far, and he has to kind of manage the tiles that are coming towards him. Now, the spot that Rezo is in, a couple of the topmost tiles can actually hit him, so he has to go with the difference of like slashes, boom throws to try to get through here. But he's got his lamp in tow, he's going to be getting his big key, and he's off to the second half of this dungeon. Coming up soon for both of our runners is their first bomb jump. They're going to be utilizing a bomb jump to get across the gap and get themselves the Moon Pearl. Normally, the way that you would go this is they would go the floor above, hit one of the star switches, and then fall down a hole that would drop them in front of the big chest. But we want to save a little bit of time. We want to use a bomb, and we want to get over that ledge right quick. This is one of the problems that you can run into if you don't go behind Sahasrah's hut. You're only getting one bomb to do this, so you have one shot. I believe both of our runners are more than capable to get this done, but Sahasrah has 3 bombs along with 100 rupees, so it's something that you can utilize if you're not comfortable with one bomb up until the point when you're ready to drop that safety and press on to save a little bit of time. So both of our runners successfully got the bomb jump. With the Moon Pearl, now they have the ability to move around in Dark World and interact with things. They will no longer turn into an adorable pink bunny. The sad trade-off with that is that you lose the amazing bunny music. Ooh, unfortunately, BambooShadow gets middle hold. Now, this is most unfortunate. This is 2 levels that he's falling down. Luckily for BambooShadow, he is taking a lot of damage, but he did hit the switch, so he has access to these pots that have hearts underneath them. So he's got a lot of health to kind of work his way back into this. Rezovayix getting that pendant of power. 3 pendants in tow, he's going for the Master Sword. Oh no, unfortunately BambooShadow taking another fall on Moldorm. Got to get a little bit more of those hearts and try for the 3rd time. Give him some energy, guys. Wish him luck on this. And he's down. Congratulations, you are done with Trolldorm today. Or at least for right now. We'll see him later on, but much later on. So Rezovayix now is setting up for his rupee drop from the tree pool. So he's got to kill 4 enemies in his way without taking damage. That unlocks tier 3, and that's how he's going to get his red rupees. Now, a question that you may have had is, why don't our runners pick up the mushroom on the way to get the Master Sword? Wouldn't that save the same amount of time? It's interesting, but the mushroom actually respawns. If you pick up the mushroom on the way to the Master Sword, the mushroom will still be there once again after you pick up the Master Sword. So to avoid kind of running into it once again as you're dashing down, we just pick it up on the way out of Lost World. Or Lost Woods, not Lost World. I apologize. Ooh, BambooShadow almost getting hit by the bomb underneath the bushes. If he would have been a little bit closer, that would have really messed up his price back there. So Rezo's more than comfortable with the rupees that he has. BambooShadow is actually not that far behind. After he picks up these 80 rupees there, he's going to be at 105, and in his way are going to be more rupees, so he's going to get the 110 that he needs to open up the door to Pod. So both of our runners skipping the mushroom. That means no powder for our runners. Ooh, Rezo having a little bit of trouble with the gold knights. Alright, so unfortunately Rezo had to slash one of those little blue knights. Now, that's going to kind of ruin his prize pack that he's going for. More than likely, the mini Helmasaur that he kills inside Pod, if he's going to do the bomb jump, is going to drop his fairy. Now, there is a chance that it won't drop the fairy. Every time that you kill an enemy, they have a drop in a certain pattern, but there's still a chance that it won't. So if Rezo is still hoping to get that fairy in Turtle Rock, that's going to be advantageous for him. We want to see nothing drop from that Helmasaur, little mini Helmasaur. I like that strategy that Rezo utilized on the red guards in that first room. Utilizing sword spins against the wall to try to get 2 hits at the same time. Good circular pots from him. Gets through. Now that's the blue rupee that we want to see BambooShadow pick up. That's going to put him at 110. With the green one, it's going to put him at 111. So he'll have more than enough to get in a pot. BambooShadow utilizing the arrow method. 2 arrows will defeat those red guards. Alright, and we see Rezo entering the Aghanim fight. So how many blue balls do you think that each of our runners are going to get today? Keep in mind that the blue balls are going to be different for each of our runners here. Now we see Rezo. He's trying to spin Aghanim into the center of the room. That can save a little bit of time as it puts him in a better position if he's going to warp across the map. All right, looked like 2 for Rezo. And I already saw 1. There's 2 for BambooShadow. Unfortunate 3rd there. Unfortunate 4th there for Bamboo. Unbelievable, a full blue ball phase. Wow, we're at 7. This is already a really low percentage chance of happening. All right, we have 7 for Bamboo, 3 for Rezo. What we saw Rezo do is, while he was dashing, he turned down, so that way Kiki would kind of jump up and get close to Link. By doing that, it allows the cutscene when Kiki climbs up on Link, jumps up onto the top of the palace, and opens it. You want him as close as possible. The fastest way to get Kiki exactly on top of Link. So BambooShadow needs to be careful. He only has exactly what he needs, the 10 to pick up Kiki and the 100 to get in there. He needs to not get hit by any of these popos along the way. All right, he's safely in there, and there it is. That's the best place that you can get Kiki right now, because it's immediately going to jump up there and get himself in there. So he's going to save a little bit of time on the opening of pod. So now that Rezo has the big key, what's coming up next is one of my favorite minor glitches, the Hammer Yump. If you're curious on learning this technique, it's not too terrible to kind of get a grip on once you kind of like learn the visual cues. What's more daunting about it is just when you hear double pixel perfect. Basically what we mean by that is that a bomb needs to be on a perfect pixel, and then Link needs to be on the perfect pixel in order to make that jump. Once you get both of those, don't forget to hold up. After you get blown over to the side, you still need to hold up to fully clip through the ledge. So BambooShadow's going to be coming up on the hammer jump here soon. Let's see how he takes to it. We saw the 1 bomb strat come from Rezo. Let's see if BambooShadow goes for the 2 bomb strat, which is a little bit faster. You get both of those bombs over there, and you made the jump right as the second bomb is exploding. Use the 2 bomb strat. Having a little bit of trouble getting the pixel. He's got it. Coming up from Rezo, we have the Turtle Room. Alrighty, so we got Helmasaur here. Helmasaur's a pretty interesting boss. He can move down, he can move side to side, he can wag his tail, and he can throw fireballs. He can only do 1 of those at a time in phase 1. After you break his helmet, he can do 1 or 2 of those at the same time. Ooh, there we go. I was about to say Rezo has been a little bit aggressive on the boss, but managed to get all the hits on it. It's 4 sword spins or 4 hammer hits, or I believe it's 8 slashes is the way to get through this boss. I think alternatively you can also use arrows in the second phase, but with how often he moves and how much arrows are used later on in the run and how little you get, barring good drops, we want to save those. Yeah, BambooShadow's taking on Tortuga Grande currently. Ooh, Bamboo needs to be careful. Ay, Dios mío. Unfortunately, BambooShadow taking a death here to Helmasaur. So BambooShadow having to use the last arrow there, but he can probably pick up the arrows that he needs in the Mimic Room. Rezovayix utilizing another 1.0 exclusive minor glitch, the item dash. The one that's used most commonly is the hammer dash. As you can see how advantageous it is to get through that bridge scene without having to donk each one of those individually. You can just charge on through and donk all of them all at once. So BambooShadow has to go through the Turtle Room once again. Let's see how he accomplishes it. Looks like it's much better this time around. Much cleaner. Rezovayix getting the 1 dig and gets that flute. Alright, it's round 2 for BambooShadow. Give him your energy. Helmasaur not being kind with all these fireballs today. Oh no! Helmasaur is being awfully rude to our runner today. On Rezovayix screen, it looks like he's going to be setting up the spin speed here to get through the second half of Kakariko after he's activated the flute, and he's going to be making his way to Thieves Town. Now, normally Thieves Town is the 4th dungeon on the list. It's the Forest Crystal, but with all the openness that we have now, with Darkworld being unlocked and having the hammer in tow, we choose to defeat Blind now, because after we defeat Blind, we can utilize the Titan's Mitt that we get to unlock the Temperate Sword to use for the remainder of the run. All right, chat, I need you. I need you to give BambooShadow your energy for the 3rd match against Helmasaur here. Cheer him on and pray that Helmasaur is nicer this time around. So it's 17 hits to break the head. Meanwhile, Rezo here is making his way through the middle portion of Thieves Town. This is arguably the most dangerous part right here, the Hellway. And he's down for BambooShadow. So we didn't get the God Pixel, but he had pretty decent RNG of the Patrick Stars, and he was able to get through that pretty nicely. Alright, so Rezo's coming over here to save the maiden, locked in the prison cell. But it looks like he's taking quite a lot of damage in between the Hellway and now. Luckily in here, there is 2 pots that have hearts underneath them, and these blue horse heads can also drop hearts quite commonly. So there is the Titan's Mitt for Rezo. With that, he's going to be able to lift anything in his way. And then Rezo's coming up on the blind fight. Now this fight is pretty scripted as long as you execute the boss in the optimal way. He's in position 1. Let's see how phase 1 goes. Perfect. So there's 3 hits per each phase. It doesn't matter what you hit him with. Hammer, Cane of Samaria, sword of any level. Phase 2 a little bit late, so he's going to go to the right side instead of the left side, but still cleans up the fight. If you can get at least phase 1 and 2 done pretty easily, then the 3rd phase is not really the big deal to worry about. It's just a matter of getting those 3 hits in there and not taking too much damage. So good fight from Rezo. And we see BambooShadow getting through Usain Bolt, the fastest red guard in Hyrule. And he's going to be activating his flute. So BambooShadow's looking pretty healthy coming into this dungeon. So Rezovayix is doing a little bit of shopping right now. He's got to do a couple of things before he enters this next dungeon. He's going to be going into that hut right there, and then he's going to be going into the C-shaped house. Both of those have 300 rupees in it. He needs 500 for the Zora Flippers, or the finger webs, as they are known in the Japanese version. And he's going to have 100 left over. Now, if you were still getting gold sword and silver arrows in your No Major Glitches run, you can utilize that 100 rupees for your gold to buy the big bomb. That way you can get yourself both of those items. So Rezo is setting up to get sucked into that door immediately right there by utilizing the warp right there. As soon as he exits this place, he's going to be right on the mirror warp. So it's the fastest way to get through this little segment here and get yourself the Tempered Sword. This is the biggest damage upgrade that you get in the game. Ooh, Bamboo's having a little bit of trouble here in the Hellway, getting bad RNG in these Patrick stars. But sneaks through the second half of it unscathed. Well done. So coming in next on our crystal hunting is Skull Woods. Now, Skull Woods, it's short. It's difficult. There's a lot of things in your way that do a lot of damage, and there's a lot of annoying enemies. Specifically, the Gibdos coming up here for Rezo. We're gonna hope for good movement, maybe even a stuck mummy. Ooh, not quite. But what he's gonna do is gonna move the statue down a little bit, just so that way he can squeeze in there and pull the statue up without getting hit by the Gibdos. But they're giving him a little bit of trouble. If ever these Gibdos give you trouble, you can use the boomerang to freeze them. Alright, in and out of that room, no problem. Now he's going to be doing another bomb jump. He's going to be getting himself the Fire Rod. The Fire Rod is key for this. It's not necessarily key for the boss, but it does open up the way to the second half of this dungeon. Or the third half of this dungeon, I should say, in the order that we're kind of going. Ooh, Rezo using the bonk strat to get over there. It saves a little bit of health. Instead of opening up your menu and going to the mirror. All of them are viable strategies, either falling down the hole, using a mirror, or bonking over there. So Bamboo's healing himself up for the blind fight. He's looking good for phase 1. Phase 1 down. He's going to be setting himself up for phase 2 here. Beautifully done. He's in prime position to get phase 3 done without any incident. Good fight from Bamboo. Blind is down. He's able to progress. All right, Rezo is going into the moth fight, and it looks like he gave us a little bit of a map, just in case you guys weren't sure what this dungeon looked like. Really quick moth fight. Beautiful. Looked like he got the double hit from bonking him up against that tile up north. So BambooShadow is equipping himself up with rupees and soon a tempered sword. All right, the next dungeon on our list for Rezo is Ice Palace. Ice Palace is probably the biggest difficulty spike. At this time, when you fight the boss, you would normally have blue mail, but since we're going to be going through this dungeon the quick way, we're going to be foregoing that advantage. So Cold Stare is going to be doing 4 hearts of damage to our runners here in the green mail. But before that happens, we got to get equipped with a couple of items ourselves. We need to get the Quake Medallion, and we need to get the Finger Webs. While you can fake flipper into ice, you can't fake flipper through swamp, and you need the Finger Webs for swamp. So we're about to see Rezo bonk against the wall coming up here soon. Now, you might think, okay, that's a little bit silly. Why is he bonking against that wall? Well, it's going to put Link on the perfect Y coordinate to get the quick warp here whenever he uses the mirror. But you just got to remember, grab the Quake Medallion before you mirror. I don't think anybody's done that in this tournament, but I know that personally, I've done it at least once. So it looks like Bamboo is having a lot more luck here with the Gibdo room, and he managed to get a 5 arrow drop. So he's pretty healthy on arrows here. BambooShadow displaying a bit of a more advanced bomb jump tech here. Instead of bonking up against the wall, which increases the amount of pixels that you have where you can successfully make the bomb jump, he instead chooses to get on the perfect pixel, which is right up against the ledge before Link starts to fall down the hole, and he'll get bomb jumped over, no problem. Rezo has to wait a little bit. That Zora was in his way. He's trying not to take any damage here as he enters ice. He wants to have sword beams that's going to allow him to get through the dungeon a little bit quicker. The first, or Ice 2 room, it's going to be advantageous there, as well as when you're in the conveyor room. Having the sword beams is going to make it killing the jellies a little bit easier. You don't have to wait around if they are spiked or sparking. So it's going to make both of those segments a lot easier on him. BambooShadow utilizing the spike there to kill the Gibdo in 2 slashes. The spikes do the same amount of damage as the gold sword does. And it's actually the reason why the gold sword slashes do not damage Mothula. It's because you're knocking Mothula into the spikes. They coded it that way. I don't know why. Probably to make the boss a little bit tougher. But if you ever do, for some reason, have the gold sword in the vanilla version here when you're fighting Mothula, just remember, poke the moth and you'll be A-okay. So Rezo has 3 bombs here and sword beams. It's going to be really good for him to get through this conveyor room and onto the Ice Palace bomb jump. Let's line it up. He's looking a little low. Oh, he managed to get into it at the last second. Very well done. So now Bamboo is going to be making the same maneuvers that Rezo was doing, going to get himself the Quake Medallion and the Finger Webs. As Rezo is making his way towards the Ice Palace dungeon boss, Cold Stare. It's very important that Rezo has full magic, which he does. While entering this boss, it's going to use your full magic bar to break the ice on Cold Stare. Each of the puffs of Cold Stare will do 4 damage. The big icicle blocks will do 2, and the smaller ones will do 1. Utilizing the 6 slash method, he maintains most of the puffs in the top right corner and just has to do a little bit of a cleanup on the bottom one. A very nice fight coming from Rezo here. So this is where we might see a route divergence. Some runners choose to get the Ether Medallion and the Ice Rod right after Ice. It allows them to be more healthy when they are trying to go into Mire. It allows them to keep their sword beams. Or we could see them avert that and hold on to it until right after defeating Swamp. Either way, there's really not much of a difference outside of having the hook shot. Will allow you to do the stair climb and get into spin speed a lot easier. As well as there's a little bit of time that you save just doing the stair climb, but I believe it's only about 1 second. And it looks like he's going just for Swamp Palace. He's going to pick up his other 2 overworld items after this dungeon. Ooh, good reaction time by Bamboo there, maintaining his sword beams and able to take care of the Zora and the little crab right behind him. So Swamp Palace is normally the second dungeon that you'd be coming through, and you'd be having the Master Sword at this point. But coming here later with all the health that we have and the increased damage output with the Tempered Sword, it's going to allow us to defeat the enemies in 1 instead of 2 slashes, and it allows us to defeat the boss a lot safer. Each of the puffs with the Master Sword would take normally 2 slashes, but with the Tempered Sword, it's only 1. The other thing about Swamp Palace is that it is heavily movement intensive, just like Escape. We're going to be utilizing a lot of pumping, a lot of dashing. This is really a good dungeon if you want to practice your movement and how to handle Link. This is a good place to maximize your pumps and your dashes. BambooShadow there walking the line with that jelly, but managed to not get hit at all. That's very good. Interesting to say that Swamp Palace is probably the most frustrating dungeon to get through if you are ever to practice the one-hit KO hack. It looks like BambooShadow is a little bit too low there for the bomb jump. He's going to have to try again, get the line up, but he's got more than enough bombs to do this jump. That one's looking good. Ooh, and he just got it the last second too, just like his opponent. We are an hour in. If you are just joining us, we have a race between BambooShadow and Rezovayix. To bring you up to speed, BambooShadow had a troublesome light roll. He got middle hold, and then he got knocked down by Moldorm, and then he had 2 deaths at Helmasaur. So that puts him a little bit behind Rezovayix, but he's making up some time with much better dungeon execution. And Rezovayix is maintaining his pace right now. As far as blue balls, BambooShadow had 7 versus Rezovayix's 3, so that didn't hurt, or that didn't help BambooShadow at all. BambooShadow with a nice clean 6-slash method, kept them all in the corner. Very well done. So we didn't see Rezo pick up the Ice Rod and the Ether in between Ice and Swamp. Let's see if BambooShadow does that. Nope, it looks like he's going straight into Swamp Palace here. So that room that Rezo just left with the sparking red jelly, you can time it out perfectly by, if you enter that room and hold up, right, diagonal, you can slash 3 times up against the wall and then complete your directional movement and dash through, and you will time it out perfectly for when the red jelly will no longer be sparking and you can just dash through it. Rezovayix gearing up for future fights. The left 2 skull pots have hearts underneath them if you need them. Often if you find yourself with 1 bomb in this area, say, you know, one of your bomb jumps went awry, or you were just missing something, that bomb is really good to pick up for when you need it for the Ice Rod Cave, and you especially need at least 1 bomb for Mire. So a good fight from Rezo here. Argus is down. Rezo went for the 2-spin method. It's a very good method. It's very effective at defeating Argus. Alternatively, we'll see if BambooShadow utilizes the 2 Fire Rod and a spin method. It's a little bit trickier. You need to position Link in a way where you can get Argus up against the wall. That way you can fire off those 2 Fire Rod shots and then get your spin off really close. So BambooShadow here is maintaining his health a little bit better than Rezo did in this dungeon so far. Let's see if that continues. It's hard not to get poked or get run into or get hit by a couple little small RNGs in this dungeon. There are a lot of little enemies and they like to move fast and unpredictably, especially the little water sprites or water skimmers. Ooh, Rezo taking one hit, but there is a small chance that one of the cardinal direction bushes that are in the Dark World will have either a fairy or a heart for him to recover. If not, he's going to be able to maybe try to kill some of the little crabs and try to get a heart that way, but fortunately he was able to get a fairy, get full up hearts, and he'll have sword beams, hopefully, for Mire. Alrighty, so Rezo's about to get the Ice Rod. He's got 2 bombs in tow and 19 arrows. That's more than enough that he needs for the remainder of this run. He's going to be firing 8 at least at Vitreous, more if he has to clean up a couple of the eyeballs. But the remainder of the arrows in his way, if he doesn't have to fire too many arrows in excess, are going to put him in prime position for the last bit of this race. Meanwhile, BambooShadow has had a pretty good drop rate for arrows, so he's living pretty nicely with his 22 arrows. Alright, so Bamboo is coming up on the Argus fight. Now let's see how he deals with it this way. Rezo is in Mire 2, and he's got a nice cleanup here. Was able to get all the Wiz Robes rather quickly, and those are really the most important ones. You can kind of clean up the pose afterwards because they don't disappear. And you don't have to wait around for them. Very nice phase 1 from BambooShadow, and it looks like he's going to be utilizing the spin method. Oh no! You definitely don't want to be standing above Argus as he is going to jump up. He can still hit you there, but fortunately it was just a little bit of a scare, but he did get through the boss. So BambooShadow is going to be doing his shopping. Let's see if Death Mountain is a little bit kinder to him, unlike it was to Rezo. Very nice. He was able to maintain his hearts all the way through Death Mountain. He was very fortunate with the cabbages and with the dead rock placements. So we see Rezo here taking the, if you take this path, the mandatory 3 hearts of damage that you are taking inside of Mire. Ooh, walking a little close to that Wizrobe. I was afraid he was going to get hit. Wizrobes would do 4 hearts of damage in this dungeon with the green mallet. Rezo's taking a little bit of extra damage here. He's got to be careful. He's still more than healthy enough to do the quick viddy, the VQ viddy, or the WQ viddy. But he needs to watch his health and make sure he doesn't take any more damage. You can farm the little blobs, or you can try to go on the right side where the anti-fairy normally comes up on the switch and pick up a heart there. This is one of the dungeons that really makes it hard whenever you drop powder. Normally with powder, you kind of get reliant on these anti-fairies being in your way, specifically the one that he's about to kind of dash past. This is a great anti-fairy when you have power, allows you to refill your hearts to maximum. So that way you have a lot of health coming into Vitreous, but without that, you gotta watch what you take damage from in this dungeon. This can get really dangerous really quickly. Oh no, Rezo gotta watch out! Ooh. Make me nervous over there. Really close lightning. All right. So 6 or 8 shots with the bow and arrow are going to take down Vitreous here. And he's done it. Vitreous is down. Close fight. Scary fight for Rezo here. So BambooShadow is on his way to go pick up the big key and progress on his way through this dungeon, as Rezo is leaving the dungeon and on his way to Turtle Rock. Turtle Rock is a long dungeon. It's kind of punishing. It also is one of those dungeons that after you've dropped powder, you need to kind of watch your health and try to make sure that you're keeping yourself close to full. There's a couple of places where you can get some hearts, and what we're really hoping for is the prize pack. I don't believe that we saw the fairy for either of our runners, so there is a good chance that the fairy is still going to be in the prize pack and available for our runners when they kill the Pokies. I would like to point out that while you are in spin speed, while you may not be able to slash, you can still use items and maintain your spin speed. You may see some of the runners here when they're in spin speed utilize the hook shot to try to get the dead rocks out of the way. And I just want to let you know, if you are running this game and you were not aware of that, utilize that as you see fit. Good Daggerot placement for Rezo so far. They've been kind of nice to both of our runners. They haven't blocked them. They haven't done anything really detrimental, and they surely haven't locked any of them in any unfortunate circumstances. All right, so Bamboo with 3 hearts down, got its key. Hopefully he can get underneath this Wizrobe and get the heart underneath the pot. Ooh. Once again, really close to that Wizrobe, but managed to get the heart and not get hit by the Wizrobe. That is very good. A little bit of an item menu fiesta from Rezo. What Rezo's doing is he's slashing those jellies, but as you can see, they do spark, and it's a little bit dangerous to do so. If you have sword beams, that's basically the best way to get rid of them. If you don't have sword beams, it's often better to not risk it and just take the hit from the little jellies, lest you be shocked right off your placemat. Alright, so BambooShadow is pretty healthy coming into Vitreous here. Let's see how he tackles the fight. Meanwhile, over on Rezo's screen, we're going to see him take on Chain Chomps here. Let's see what kind of RNG they give him. Really nice Vitreous so far, and cleans up the big eyeball, and no problems with Vitreous on BambooShadow here. Looks like Rezo took a little bit of damage, but I didn't see the fairy drop, so hopefully maybe one of the Pokies 1 or the Pokies 2 room are going to give him his fairy. He picks up those 5 arrows there. What you want to do is you want to pick up those 5 arrows if you're any less than 12 arrows. Rezo getting his fairy, full health, and gets himself the big key. So if you have sword beams and you're going into Pokies 2, you want to slash your sword up. It prevents you from, when you re-slash, from hitting any of the Pokies with their sword beams and complicating the fight a little bit more. As you know, the more parts that you knock on the Pokie, the faster they move. Oh no, he's already in a little bit of trouble here. Wow, managed to dodge both the Pokies and the Medusa head. Very well done, Rezo. So hoping for a nice clean overworld from Bamboo here. We don't want any dead rocks in his way. Cool thing about having sword beams now is it allows you to stay quick in that room, and allows you to utilize your sword beams to hit those switches rather than use the Cane of Samaria. So Rezo's coming up on the laser skip. Normally, if you were running this game, you would more than likely have the mirror shield here, but without that, we gotta land ourselves on a pixel right before the lasers are gonna hit us. That way we can kind of scooch around that little ledge and then get to that chest. Rezo was able to do it very quickly and very nicely. Didn't have to worry about getting hit by any of those lasers, and it's important to note that you only get hit by the beginning and end of that laser. So you can dash through the middle part of that laser, no problem, without getting hurt. BambooShadow demonstrating what I was talking about earlier, where you don't want to slash the jellies for fear of them sparking and knocking yourself off the platform. The downside is that they are doing damage to you, and this is a dungeon that is a little bit dangerous to take a lot of damage in. Rezo doing the backdoor strats here on Trinex. And it looks like he's going to get a 1 cycle on Trinex. Very nice. Ooh, Rezo is utilizing the faster method, choosing to take damage and damage boost through the rollers. But he's pretty low on health, but we didn't see the fairy yet, so hopefully that the Pokie coming up here is going to give him his fairy and refill his hearts for the remainder of the dungeon. Beautiful, beautiful. Both of our players got their lottery. So coming up for Rezo is the toughest dungeon in the game, Ganon's Tower. Ganon's Tower is a long dungeon. There are a lot of enemies. There are the light world bosses revisited, and there's the gauntlet, and not to mention Aghanim 2, the geometry master himself. So he's going to have to utilize everything that he's done up until now to his maximum potential to survive this dungeon. Meanwhile, BambooShadow got himself the big key and is progressing throughout the remainder of this dungeon. Still full on hearts and ready to take on all comers. Really nice pokies too from Bamboo there. Both of our runners maintaining their health in these dungeons, in these late game dungeons. If they've been practicing, it's definitely coming out now. Ooh, BambooShadow utilizing the fast way to get in there. Didn't even drop the Candace Samara there, just dashed in, got the pixel, and was able to dash over really quick. Well done. That is not an easy maneuver to do. So BambooShadow using the front door strats. As Rezo is taking on the revisit of his first Light World boss, Armos. Ooh, unfortunately had to fire off another 3 arrows, got the phase 2 red Armos. But it wasn't too big of a problem. Rezo was able to mop that up right quick. It looks like, unfortunately, BambooShadow mirrored a little bit too soon. And unfortunately, he has to go through all of Turtle Rock again to get to the boss. Oh, he had to mirror because he ran out of magic. That is most unfortunate. Rezo's taking a lot of damage here in this room. He's got 7 hearts going into the remainder of this dungeon. Depending on how the RNG and how he handles the gauntlet, this could be really dangerous. So far, he's having a really good gauntlet here. Beautiful gauntlet. Only really took 1 heart of damage. Now he's on to Lanmo 2. much quicker fight. You can do a spin and then just mop up this boss with the fire rod, as he just did. One cycle from Rezo here. Well done fight. Ooh, unfortunately BambooShadow dashing right into the pokey there. And, oh, that is most unfortunate. Taking a hit from the anti-fairy when he's trying to prevent the damage from the pokey. Taking on these late game dungeons without any safeties is, it's a brutal endeavor. Definitely hit !R and to get the link to these runners and give them a follow. They are letting us restream their, basically rebroadcast their streams for our entertainment. And sometimes things don't go right and sometimes things go horribly wrong, but definitely give them both a follow. So Rezo's coming here on the last bit of Ganon Tower here. He's got to get past Moldorm 2, and he missed the bomb, but there are a lot of bombs in this room. Each one of those skull pots have a bomb underneath it, and I believe one of the chests has 3 bombs in it. So if you keep missing this, you can still get through this room with your bombs if you open up a chest or 2. So a slash and a spin is all it takes to take down Moldorm, and then Rezo can hookshot over as soon as the chest appears. So Rezo's about to enter Aga 2. Let's see how the patterns affect and how Rezo reacts to each of these patterns here. Ooh, unfortunately only gets 1 hit there. Ooh, Rezo's taking a lot of damage here in this fight. You get no health refills after this fight going into Ganon, so whatever health he has left leaving Aga Tower is what he's got left to fight Ganon. And so far Aga is down with 3 hearts though. He's got to be really careful in the Ganon fight. Alright, the rematch against Trinex is going much better for Bamboo here. Alright, and Trinex is down, giving him a couple extra slashes just to make sure that he's dead. Alright, manages to get the 1 cycle 1. Let's see if he manages to get the 1 cycle 2 here. Ooh, unfortunately a fireback catches Rezo and he's down. So now he's equipped with 8 hearts here. He can still take a firebat hit, but he can't hug Ganon. So round 2, fight for Rezo. It looks like Ganon's going left, so he has a good shot at getting a one-on-one here. He needs 12 slashes for each of these phases. Oh, unfortunately gets double hit by the firebats. Rezo's down again. Ganon is not an easy boss, guys. Alright, Ganon's going left again. So he gets the 1 cycle phase 1. Let's see if he gets the 1 cycle phase 2. Unfortunately, I think he was trying to be a little bit more reserved just to make sure he gets through. But it looks like he's got his 12 hits in there. And he's going to be pushing on to phase 3. Now, phase 3, he only has to hit Ganon once, each of the warps. Oh, no! Another fire bat catches Rezo. That is most unfortunate. The positions of those fire bats can be really, really unfortunate. Sometimes they spawn away from where you can see them, and then you don't even know that they're coming. All right, phase 1 down. Going on to phase 2. Ooh, getting hit by fire bats. And phase 2 is over. All right, we're looking good now. The fire bats in phase 4 only do 2 hearts of damage, so he's looking pretty healthy. And we are in phase 4. Rezo gets the torch glitch. Now he's got to do 12 spins on Ganon. Meanwhile, BambooShadow is closing up the time gap here. He's on the Armos Knights, as Rezo is finishing up the last half of phase 4. And the boss is down. BambooShadow is making his way through Mimics 1 and 2. And he's through the door, and he's finally done. Rezo takes the bout, coming in. And unfortunately, he had 3 Ganon deaths, but the majority of his dungeons were handled very well. Unfortunately, BambooShadow took a lot of deaths along the way and had some unfortunate mishaps. But like I said before, give these runners a follow. They're letting us put their broadcasts on this channel for our entertainment and for my commentary. So give them a follow for their bravery in this aspect. So I'm going to see if Rezo wants to get in here to talk about his run while we watch BambooShadow clean up the last bit of G Tower. So we're about to see BambooShadow rematch against his hated enemy in the light world, Moldorm. And Moldorm is down. Oh, okay, good. He wasn't about to have a mini Helmasaur party there. All right, on to Aghanim 2. Let's see what patterns he gives and how he reacts. All right, I'm joined by Rezovayix, the victor in this race. How are you doing today?
What's up, man? How's it going?
It's going good, man. You had a really good run. How far ahead of your splits were you?
I was actually negative the entire time, but I was like about less than 30 seconds behind most of the time. After Light World, I was only +2. But a lot of slop happened.
Even with that time loss, was there any way for you to PB still?
Yeah, I could have PB just with better gameplay, less slop, better movement. I personally don't think I played that well. There was a lot of mistakes, but I somehow won.
Yeah, your opponent had probably one of the most troublesome runs I've seen. To start off with, he had 2 falls on Moldorm. He got middle hold, and then he got knocked off afterwards.
Ouch.
Then he had 7 blue balls, 2 Helma deaths, and ran out of magic on Trinex, and then died midway through trying to head on back. And now he's at Ganon, and unfortunately he's taken a couple of deaths at Ganon as well.
Yeah, I started choking at Ganon too. I don't know what to say.
I definitely saw you going pretty aggressively. I know that you kept getting the leftmost RNG, and you really just wanted to get past phase 2 as quickly as possible. So I noticed that you've gone a little bit hard on Ganon. But all those fire bats, man, like that one at the top right, that came out of nowhere and it got you.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. I was so mad.
Yeah, I was explaining about like how sometimes like after they sometimes spawn off screen and they may not always despawn.
Yeah, and that and the I think it was the first or second death. It was like the bat got me by like my back toe, like the tiniest bit. It was like one of the downright patterns when I was walking away. But yeah, oh well.
Yeah, I also want to talk about your Vitreous fight. Now, I know you had a little bit of trouble with Vitreous, and you gave us quite the scare there. You were about a pixel away from that lightning, but you cleaned it very nicely. You maintained your composure, I guess, as best you could. I mean, really low on Vitreous is super scary, but I mean, you really didn't suffer a death, which would have been kind of detrimental, would have allowed Bamboo to catch up a little bit closer.
Yeah. Yeah, the Vitreous fight, I was honestly too focused on not freaking mirroring after the fight because that cost me my last race. So I completely misexecuted the whole fight because of that, because I was so focused. But I didn't mirror, so that's a good sign.
That's an excellent sign. Were there any parts about the run that you felt really strongly against? I know you said that you were negative the entire run, but I mean, there had to be a couple of segments where you're like you just nailed them, or like you felt that you executed it, because you had really good movement in your dungeons.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I think I did pretty well in Ice Palace, except for the stupid penguin ice room before 2 rooms before the Lonely Fire Bar. I forget what it's called. But that penguin,
you got it right.
Yeah, I messed that up. Otherwise, and the Zora Overworld. Otherwise, that split would have been a gold. Turtle Rock, I thought was going to be a gold. I think I lost that to the Overworld as well. Aga Tower was also really good, except for the first 2 rooms. And Hera was actually really good for once in a blue moon. No falls or any crap in the Overworld, so I'm pretty happy.
And now the most important question is, did you have fun?
Yeah, I definitely had a lot of fun. It was was getting a little upset at some points, but I was also laughing at other points, so it evens out.
And let's see, with this win, where does that put you? Are you 2-1 or?
I am 2-1, but I do not think I'll advance because I forfeit my race that I mirrored out of, because I died in G Tower twice. Well, I ran out of arrows and mimics. I was really frustrated, so I kind of just gave up. And now that's coming back to bite me, because I actually pulled off the upset.
Yeah, that is unfortunate to hear.
Yeah.
As far as I know, it's based off of wins, but it's also based off your time. So,
well, I think there's going to be 2 2-1s in my group, and then I think I'll lose 2 averages. But it's okay.
I mean, you put on a good race for us. So, I mean, are you in any other tournaments? If you don't advance in this, is there anything else that people can find you and people can watch you on?
No, I'm actually done with tournaments for a while, and I'm very happy for that. It's kind of been a little stressful. I've been in tournaments for about 6 months straight so far. I did Zelda 2 and then Zelda 1 and now Link to the Past. So I'm taking a break from tournaments for a little while, but I mean, I guess there's my stream if anyone wants to watch.
Yeah, as I said before, definitely follow these runners. They're letting us put their streams up on here for entertainment. Are you still going to be running this game after this tournament? Are you going to be running any other categories or trying to improve your PB, try to get that sub 130?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to get at least sub 130. I'm probably going to try to push it a lot further than that. Haven't really seen any too many other categories that interest me, but that might change as I get better. So I can't eat any percent no EG looks pretty interesting. I might give that a shot sometime.
Yeah, that one's really fun. I'll be learning that one soon. Another one that's really, really fun is, have you looked at all dungeons?
Yeah, I have seen that run many times. It does look interesting. I don't know how hard those bomb clips are. I heard they were free.
Yeah, they're really not that difficult. You can watch Joss SRL's tutorial on it, and you can get them pretty quickly. They're really good, and it makes all dungeons much more approachable. And even that big clip from Mire into Hera into Swamp, that's not mandatory. You can still kind of go along the run as you see fit and get the hook shot normally. But yeah, definitely give that out. I mean, the major glitches runs are really fun. No AG is really nice. It's not free, but it's a really good one.
Yeah, I'll definitely keep that in mind. The all dungeons. I saw Blunt running a lot. It looks fun, except for Aghanim 1 at the end.
Oh yeah, the double Aghanim. That is a little troublesome. Alrighty. So BambooShadow is going to decline the interview. That's
I don't blame.
Yeah, that's completely okay. You know, perhaps he wants to cool down after the run. I don't blame him either. Do you have any last words?
No, not really. Just thank you a lot for the restream and the last minute commentary and all the admins and whatnot for putting on this tournament. Because I think this is my last race, but either way, thank you for everyone for putting this on.
Yeah, I was happy to commentate. So let's see. Coming up next, we have a race at 8 p.m. Eastern on Speed Gaming, Mashy versus Runner Watcher. If that gets commentary, we'll get a restream. We also have another race half an hour after that. We're trying to figure out what channel that's going to be on. At 9, we have a race on Speed Gaming 5 between Canister 786 versus Beheld and Tina Hacks versus Tear, commentated by two of my favorite people, Mutsky and the Sabin. And we got a late night race at 11 p.m. Zero Rush versus SNES Chalmers and Zyrak versus Swerb on Speed Gaming 4. So there's still a lot of races coming up here on these channels. We also have the spring randomizer tournament going on. So stay tuned to Speed Gaming and its many different channels to get your fill of Link to the Past, No Major Glitches, Randomizer, and any other tournaments that they have going on here. I've been your commentator, Ninnies, and it was a pleasure commentating for you. You guys have a wonderful afternoon.